So I'm having a little bit of hard time telling. It looks like this is all working. I thought maybe I froze there for a second because I was trying to post some stuff on Twitter and the notifications, all that stuff, and it didn't work. And I thought, okay, is this thing working? But apparently it's on, so that's good. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am working on a couple new videos that I always say that, but I really am now because a guy had a great idea based on some stuff that I read, and I'm like, oh, this is a good idea. And I told you about it a little bit about yesterday, Proverbs for the Modern Times, and we're definitely going to be doing some of those because it's kind of a funny series that I've come up with, and I've been writing new proverbs every day. And also I got several from my friend Oregon Muse at the Ace of Spades, and a couple of the other commenters there. Wrote a few myself, which I presented a couple to my wife today, and she laughed. And when my wife laughs at something, that means one, she understands it, and two, it's kind of funny. So there you go. Get your bank account ready for $1,400. Yeah, we'll see if that happens too. What do you mean I'm boomering again? How am I boomering? What exactly is happening? Oh, are you just talking about what I started out with here? Maddie, I'm telling you, that boomerang thing. Anyway, so I'm glad you're here. It's Woke Wednesday. Plus, there's a great job opening if you want to apply for it. And we'll talk about that after the intro. Play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight.
Okay, stop the music. Hey, hi, welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, PDawgKnight. I'm Marty, but I'm also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. And it is Wednesday, Woke Wednesday, Hump Day on February 3rd, 2021. And I looks like I did all the stuff I'm supposed to do. Is this thing working? Yeah, it is. Okay. I noticed yesterday there's a significant job opening, and I kind of, I'm considering applying for it. It's well, I know they said that somebody's already maybe like there's already an interim person in this position, but I think I could do a good job. I have a little bit of experience in logistics, a little bit of experience in finance, a little bit of experience in I don't know what you need experience for to do this job, but it's the CEO of Amazon. I could do that. I'd be happy with just a few stock options. They wouldn't have to pay me that much. Yes, Amazon.com, Jeff Bezos is stepping down. And so for whatever reason, I thought it was a good idea to put his big old cue ball on my thumbnail today. And I'm also doing an experiment with my thumbnails. I'm going to put myself in the thumbnails. I don't know if that helps or not, but I know there are people who, I don't know if that would help grow my channel because my face is, I'm not a bad looking fellow, and I'm just going to try it. What the hell? I don't know. I don't know what made me think of doing that. Maybe it gives me a little more personableness. Is that a word? Personableness? Anyway, what's more important though today is that you're here. I am so happy that you're here today. You joined me on the Morning Night Live. And so I'm going to say hello like I always do, because that's kind of the thing here at the Morning Night Live. We try to say good morning to everybody as they jump into the chat. So in the chat today, first is our good friend Gunfox61. And sir, you get the bell. Yes, you do. And I'm glad you're here. Good morning also to Maddie, who keeps calling me. He's talking about me boomering. And you know what? I resemble that remark. Anyway, also good morning, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And James Colley, TC Ball, Mike Savage, Blarg. Good morning, tall person. I resemble that remark too. Good morning also, James PFP, Fox P2, Humble Clay. Good morning, Dr. Kiv. Spelled Kiv. Also, good morning. Wait a minute. According to Daily Mail, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was so frightened of being killed by the MAGA mob that ransacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th that she hid in colleague Katie Porter's office. I thought that... Okay. Yeah. Miss, I was almost murdered. Several people almost died. I think I wrote a tweet about that recently. Didn't I write something? No member of Congress almost died, quote unquote. Unfortunately, not a single member of the House or the Senate was even injured. I don't know what she means by almost died. Someone was talking about how that's a Latinx trait. Don't say Latinx. That's a stupid word. Of exaggerating things to make them more, I don't know, the word maybe dramatic. And drama queen who gets a lot of attention. So I tried not to talk about her too much. Anyway, also good morning to, who else is here? I got to scroll a little bit to find out. Y'all been chatting up a storm. Good morning, Sleazy. Now that's a new name. AOC is a twat waffle. Changed my mind. Well, I don't have any ammunition to change your mind, because I concur. Anyway, Sleazy, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and click the bell. In fact, anyone who's here is new. You got to do that because it makes it easier to find my show in the morning. Anyway, also good morning to Atheist Icon, Attack Alpaca, Tarai Deos, Joe Dirt, nice to see you back, Thomas Cleaver, Effin Machi, nice to see you, Dog Dude After White Girls, Dog equals Dude After White Girls. You know, at one time, well, I look, I wasn't, let me think about that. Because I dated the entire spectrum. Believe it. When I was in my dating days, I've been happily married for almost 20. In fact, in 19 days, 19 days, it'll be 28 years with married to Lady Boomer. And we're still going strong and looking forward to riding off into the sunset together. So we're excited about that. Anyway, Dude After White Girls. That sounded funny. Also, good morning to Grillin' Pirate Pete. What you got cooking today, my brother? I'm just curious. Also, good morning to, I think I said to you, Don Kedick, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man. Good morning, Don. Good morning, Advocatus Diaboli, the Devil's Advocate. What are these new icons? That's weird. I just noticed there's several of you have a different avatar, and I don't know what the hell that is. Anyway, I can't figure that out. Also, let's see. Woodcutter, Gamer Valine, how you doing? Those are two different people if you weren't sure. Oh, now they're back. Now it's back to your own icons. I don't know what that was weird. You had some weird thing going on there. Anna Lynn's in the house. Nice to see you. Mr. Yes, howdy. Am I getting everybody here? I think so. I got Humble Clay. I got looks like, Ost Sad. Nice. Wait, people are defending AOC by saying it's a Hispanic stereotype to exaggerate, aka lying. Isn't that a bit racist? Well, I don't know. That's racist! Kind of, maybe. Well, let's put it this way. The person who said it is Hispanic. So if that helps, I don't know. My Cuban friend said that. So look, it's like a brother saying nigga. Okay, I can say it, but you can't. I'm gonna let it go. Anyway, laughing my ass. Danger, Marty Robinson. I don't know what that means. Am I roboting? Okay. I get paranoid because sometimes I do boomer. And I'm curious if it's me doing that. Good morning, Cynical Lindsay. Also, good morning. This is Kyle. Congrats. What? Oh, your 13th wedding anniversary yesterday. Well, congratulations, Lindsay. That is awesome. Love to hear that. Good morning, Milkman Dan and Rod Line. And I think that's Renee Mayette. I think I got everybody now. If I missed you, I'll catch on. Also, first donor of the day. And Kyle, I got to tell you,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you for the deuce through Streamlabs. And Kyle says, hello, chat people and PDawg. Well, hello to you too, Kyle. I appreciate the donation. Anyone else who feels the need to help promote and make the show perpetuate itself, you can always throw donations through the Streamlabs link in the description down below, or this YouTube super chats, which are also available now that I'm still over 1,000 subscribers. Actually, I gained 25 subscribers this last week. I don't know where y'all came from, but I'm glad you're here. Good morning, Katie. I see ya. Yeah, so that's cool. And just a couple programming notes. Like I said, I'm starting to have guests. Like I've been saying this for probably 6 months, but my first guest in a while will be a week from Friday, and that will be a woman named Vanessa. She goes by Gothics on YouTube and Twitch, and I just find she's an interesting person. Now, what's wild is, so she came on YouTube. I gotta say, maybe 2 months ago, and she just went over 100,000 subscribers. Amazing. And I don't know, and I know she had a pretty big Twitch following. She was a major Twitch person, but when she came over to YouTube, when she started talking about social commentary and politics, she's just blown up. And I found her when she was at about 2,000 subscribers a couple months ago, and she just went over 100,000. It's amazing. So I'm glad that, one, I'm happy that she is willing to come join me a week from Friday, because sometimes, people blow up that big and they don't want to go on a channel that only has 1,500 or 1,000 subscribers. So I appreciate that. Plus, I also have in the future someone from Red State. His Twitter handle is Jeff on the right. Is going to be joining me sometime soon. We'll have HB on the show coming up again. Roderick Threats. I don't know if you know who that is. And I'm hoping to get the Hotep guys in the house at the same time. Hotep Jesus and Uncle Hotep, because they're just funny. And I just want it. My experience of watching their show on Thursday nights, it's like going into a black barbershop. It's just how they talk about things. And so I have a lot of fun. So anyway, we're going to have guests usually on Fridays coming up soon. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into the show today. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Jeff Bezos is leaving his post as the CEO of Amazon.com. Now, Jeff Bezos is back to being the richest person in the world. I think he's worth like $171 billion, billion with a B. Crazy. Now, what's funny though, when they say he's the richest person in the world, he's the wealthiest person in the world that they list. There are certainly a few people that you probably just aren't ever going to hear about that are worth more than Jeff Bezos, but he's the one of those that he lists. And his wealth, if you didn't know, he takes a salary from his company, I think of $80,000 a year. His entire wealth is pretty much based on Amazon stock. His stake in Amazon, fluctuates based on the share price of their stock. So Amazon has been, it's okay. Good point, James. CFP. Bezos' worth is clearly about as volatile as, the liquidity of Robinhood. Yeah. Now, and so he has done some things. He sells Apparently, he sells about $1 billion in stock a year. That's how he bought the Washington Post, and that's why, more than the fact that he's stepping down as CEO of Amazon, it actually worries me. It worries me that Jeff Bezos is going to have more time on his hands to meddle in other things. The editorial vision of the Washington Post already scares me enough. I don't know if I want Jeff Bezos being able to spend more time on other things, particularly manipulating our American politics. But I digress. On CNN.com, we have the letter that Amazon's founder wrote to his employees. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is stepping down later this year as CEO. He sent the following email announcement announcing the transition to Amazon employees on Tuesday. Fellow Amazonians, I'm excited to announce that this third quarter I'll transition to executive chair of the Amazon board. So I don't know what's the difference between the CEO and the executive chair of the Amazon board? I don't know. Good morning, Shayton's after, by the way. And Andy Jassy will become CEO. In the exec chair role, I intend to focus my energies and attention on new products and early initiatives. Andy is well known inside the company, has been as Amazon almost as long as I have. He will be an outstanding leader, and he has my full confidence. Then he fluffs up his time at Amazon. I use that word on purpose, by the way, just in case. Just in case Kyle's paying attention. The journey began some 27 years ago. Amazon was only an idea, and it had no name. The question I was asked most frequently at the time was, what's the internet? Blessedly, I haven't had to explain that in a long while. Today, we employ 1.3 million talented, dedicated people, serve hundreds of millions of customers and businesses, and are widely recognized as one of the most successful companies in the world. How did that happen? Well, in the last year, you're the only choice. No, not really, but well, kind of. Invention. That's how it happened. Invention. Invention is the root of our success. We've done crazy things together and then made them normal. We pioneered customer reviews, one-click, personalized recommendations, primes, insanely fast shipping, just walk out shopping. The climate pledge, hello BG, the climate pledge, Kindle, Alexa, marketplace, infrastructure, cloud computing, career choice, and much more. If you get it right a few years after a surprising invention, the new thing has become normal. People yawn, and that yawn is the greatest compliment an inventor can receive. I don't know of another company with an invention track record as good as Amazon's, and I believe we are at our most inventive right now. I hope you are as proud of our inventiveness as I am. I think you should be. As Amazon became large, we decided to use our scale and scope to lead on important social issues. That's my problem. I don't know. In fact, I bet there's a good number of your employees who don't necessarily believe or, buy into your lead on social issues. But anyway, in both. Wait, where did I got lost there? And lead on important social issues. Two high impact examples. Our $15 minimum wage. No. Yeah, look, Jeff. It's pretty decent for warehouse work for unskilled labor. $15, starting pay. But you're not the only ones. Okay. In fact, before you guys finally buckled down and did that, the company I work for was already doing that. And in fact, our our starting wage is higher than Amazon's right now. But and it's warehouse shipping work. But whatever, at least where I work, I don't know. And the climate pledge. Really, Jeff? You don't sell anything from China or India? I bet you do. Anyway, in both cases, we staked our leadership position and then asked others to come along with us. In both cases, it's working. Other large companies are coming our way. I hope you're proud of that as well. I find my work meaningful and fun. I get to work with the smartest, most talented, most ingenious teammates. When times have been good, you've been humble. When times have been tough, you've been strong and supportive. We've made each other laugh. And it is a joy to work with this team. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all 1.3 million people have just sat there and chuckled with you there, Jeffy boy. Anyway, as much as I still tap dance into the office, I'm excited about this transition. Millions of customers depend on us for services. They've had to during COVID, and more than 1 million employees depend on us for their livelihoods. Being the CEO of Amazon is a deep responsibility, and it's consuming. When you have a responsibility like that, well, you just step down. No, I'm just kidding. It's hard to put attention on anything else. I don't want your attention on anything else, dude. Sorry. When as executive chair, I will stay engaged in important Amazon initiatives, but also have the time and energy I need to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, at Blue Origin, the Washington Post. Oh, please keep your never mind. And wait a minute. Actually, the Washington Post one, I don't mind them taking care of their highest paid employee. Who can tell me who the highest paid employee at the Washington Post is? Just FYI. Also, good morning. I just saw someone come in. I said hi to BG, Mr. Yes. Joe Biden's in the chat.
Come on, man.
Also known as Uncle Bad Touch. How you doing? And also Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you back. A rare appearance. Nice to see you. Okay. Who knows the Washington Post highest paid employee? At least in 2000. Anyone know? Anyone know the Washington Post highest paid employee in the year 2000? Can you venture a guess? I'll answer that in a minute and see if anyone gets that. Amazon couldn't be better positioned for the future. We are firing on all cylinders just as the world needs us to. We have things in the pipeline that will continue to astonish. We serve individuals and enterprises, and we've pioneered 2 complete industries and a whole new class of devices. We are leaders in areas varied as machine learning and logistics. And if an Amazonian's idea requires yet another institutional skill, we're flexible enough and patient enough to learn it. Well, you have enough money to pay for it too. Whatever. Keep inventing and don't despair when our first idea looks crazy. Remember to wander. Let curiosity be your compass. It remains day one. Okay. The highest paid employee of the Washington Post in the year 2000? Nick Sandman. Okay, I don't know if that's true, but it's just funny to me. It should have been. I know they settled with Nick Sandman. All right, as you know, it's Woke Wednesday, and so we're going to talk about some woke shit. Let's see. I'm going to move this one way over here because we probably aren't going to get to that. But anyway, and it's not in any particular order. Okay, so there's Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos kind of woke, by the way. Shaden's Advocate, how you doing? How you doing? And Amy, what's up? All right, let's see. Senator Ron Johnson. I have that one open somewhere. Oh, no, that article wouldn't open. I was kind of pissed because Senator Ron Johnson had tweeted something here. We are in a dark chapter in the history of medicine and journalism. Courageous frontline COVID-19 doctors are being censored, ostracized, vilified, the press even fired. Please read what happens to my YouTube videos in the Wall Street Journal opinion section, which unfortunately this article will not open unless you are in the Washington Post section, or unless it's not Washington Post, Wall Street Journal subscriber. But there was a committee on the Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs hearing talking about early treatment of COVID-19. And one was a 30-minute summary. The other was the opening of a statement of critical care specialist Pierre Corey. Dr. Corey is part of a world-renowned group of physicians who developed a groundbreaking use of corticosteroids to treat hospitalized COVID patients. His testimony at a May Senate hearing helped doctors rethink treatment protocols and saved lives. At the December hearing, he presented evidence regarding the use of ivermectin, a cheap and widely available drug that treats tropical diseases caused by parasites for prevention and early treatment of COVID-19. And he describes such a just published study from Argentina in which 800 healthcare workers received ivermectin and 400 didn't. Not one of the 800 contracted COVID-19, 58% of the 400 did. So here's, to make a long story short, this Senate hearing in the United States Senate was on YouTube, and YouTube yeeted it. They said, nope, we're not putting this on here. Medical disinformation. It was a freaking Senate hearing. But nope, not allowed on YouTube. And so, Dr. Corey asked the National Institute of Health to review his group's manuscript outlining dozens of successful trials and to consider updating its August 27th guidance in which it recommended against the use of ivermectin for the treatment of COVID-19, except in a clinical trial. On December 10th, Senator Rand Paul and I sent a letter to the National Institute of Health requesting that it review Dr. Corey's evidence. In January, the National Institute of Health changed its guidance to neutral by acknowledging the successful trials, but determined that currently there are insufficient data to recommend either for or against the use of ivermectin for the treatment of COVID-19. So it's kind of another, what's that drug? Hydrochloroquine or whatever. It's another one of those things where there are clinical trials in countries. They've had success with it. It's the government. It's literally a Senate hearing that Ron Johnson put on YouTube, and they took the video down. It's like, who died and made you boss? And, I don't get it. I just don't understand. I wonder if I'm going to get in trouble for saying the word ivermectin. I just wonder. Another thing going down the memory hole, thanks to our new president. Well, it's lots of things are going down the memory hole thanks to our new president. But the 1776 report has been yeeted from the government websites. On his very first afternoon in office, the newly installed President Joe Biden showed exactly where his priorities lie. He scrubbed from the White House website the report from the 1776 Commission his predecessor Donald Trump had established to counter the New York Times' mendacious anti-American 1619 project and abolished the commission itself. He yeeted the commission. Look, Biden said during his recent remarks on his racial equity agenda. That you should be just totally frightened of that word equity too. I'm sorry. Anyway, in the weeks ahead, I'll be reaffirming the government's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And hello, everybody. Hopefully I'm back. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys, that was weird. I thought maybe they took me out. Let's see if this is reconnecting here. Okay, this chat's not reconnecting. Did I say? I must have said the wrong word. All right, I got to fix a couple things. Let me fix something here real quick because I got to change my chat here. Memento. Yeah, so for whatever reason, my internet said bite me for a minute there. Okay, looks like we're good here. That's the right chat. That was not fun. And let me fix the sizing here. Well, maybe I should not say that word anymore. I don't know. No, actually what happened, for whatever reason, my internet like just completely went off for a moment. PDawgKnight, check your browser for updates. So yeah, we'll check all kinds of things here. It wasn't my browser, it was actually my internet went out temporarily, something having to do with Comcast. And I'm wired too. I'm not even whatever. All right, so it looks like we're back. Let's see here. I'm gonna get back in this after I say thank you to a couple people. Thank you, Tyler F, Grillin' Pirate Pete, Cynical Lindsay, Maddie, and Becca Fairley for doing the old tweet thing of the show. While you're here, while you're thinking about it, and while I'm getting my brain unscrambled for a moment, please consider sharing the show out through either the share link down there or through one of the social media places you go to. On most social media, I am at PDawgKnight. I'm gonna have to update my screen here because Parler still is not working to my knowledge, but it seems like everything else is. So anyway, all right, let's get back into whatever the hell I was talking about, which would have been the 1776 project. And there we go. So anyway, indeed, here's so what Joe Biden was saying. I'll get back to where I was. Joe Biden's statement is, look, in the weeks ahead, I'll be reaffirming the federal government's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and accessibility, building on the work we started in the Obama-Biden administration, which I still have no idea what he's talking about there. That's why I'm rescinding the previous administration's harmful ban on diversity and sensitivity training. Now, that is another one of those media lies. Donald Trump did not ban diversity and sensitivity training in the federal government. What he banned was critical race theory as a part of diversity and sensitivity training. That is a completely different thing. Not the actual, he didn't ban, and so Joe Biden saying that is just going along with a narrative that was a complete and utter lie. But, and then he said, and abolish the offensive and the offensive counterfactual 1776 commission. Unity and healing must begin with understanding and truth, not ignorance and lies. Now, indeed, unity and healing must begin with the understanding of truth and with rejecting ignorance and lies. That's precisely what the 1776 Commission set out to do in its report summarizing the principles of American founding and how those principles have shaped our nation. And that is precisely why the Biden administration wasted no time burying it and dissolving the commission, because it targeted the ignorance and lies promoted in the 1619 Project, verifiable falsehoods and lies. Now, was the 1619 Project 100% lies? No, there were some grains of truth. There was some things of truth in it, but the idea, what it was promoting is that, America actually started in 1619 when the first slaves came here. No, it didn't. And in fact, well, let me just skip. I'm going to skip what I was about to say there. Let's see. Because, okay, so it targeted the ignorance and lies promoted in the 1619 Project, which has been slammed by hundreds of scholars for its attempt to establish the country's founding not in 1776, but in the year that African slaves first arrived in North America's continent. The 1619 Project's goal was to reinforce and propagate the subversive leftist worldview that the United States was founded in slavery and that, as Barack Obama put it, racism is in our very DNA. Now, the 40-page 1776 report issued on January 18th notes that the purpose of President Trump's advisory 1776 commission was to enable a rising generation to understand the history and principles of the founding of the United States in 1776 and to strive to form a more perfect union. The 16-member commission, led by Churchill historian and Hillsdale College president Dr. Larry Arnn and Vice Chair Dr. Carol Swain, retired professor of political science, urges a restoration of authentic American education through which we can discover our shared identity rooted in our founding principles. It is our mission, all of us, to restore our national unity by rekindling a brave and honest love for our country and by raising new generations of citizens who not only know the self-evident truth of our founding, but act worthy of them. Sounds innocuous enough, right? Unless you believe American identity is rooted in white supremacy and requires a fundamental transformation. And so anyway, the rest of this article, there's a whole lot more, but I'm just going to stop there because just the fact that they've already dumped this. Now, and the other thing about the 1776 Project, it doesn't necessarily sugarcoat some of the bad things that went along with our founding, but it does talk about the reason the country was founded and the principles that was founded on. And remember, within a generation from our first Constitution, the slavery part was banned. Now, is everything in the 1619 Project bad? Well, no, but it's certainly oppression porn. It just is. And so I think that's one of the reasons Trump wanted to come up with this 1776 Project. Moving on, more Woke Wednesday stuff. Let me take a drink of my tea here real quick. You don't need to hear critical race theory. Believes established that racism and sexism in the workplace is a no-go. This is nothing new. Purposely conflating them is dishonest. Yep. Good point. How many people made it back, by the way? Because I know that how many we lose? We got almost 40 people here again. So it looks like most of you made it back. I'm glad you're back. Good morning, John Arnott, by the way. Good morning to you. I don't know if anyone else new has dropped in since we had our little kerfluffle there with my internet service. But hopefully everyone made it back. So good. All right, let's move on. My Canadian friends, I don't know if you're familiar with the sketch troupe, the Sketchersons, kind of a comedy troupe, right? Well, they have decided to self-immolate. By the way, one of my new modern proverbs. Let me take a moment I should have special theme music for this. Proverbs for the modern day. No mountain of admitted guilt or even self-immolation will ever be enough for the truly woke. Here's an example. The sketch troupe known as the Sketchersons apparently fear that their lack of diversity fueled white supremacy. As does Doug and Bob McKenzie. A veteran comedy troupe tried the virtual signaling route following the rise of Black Lives Matter. When that failed to solve racism in the Great White North, the Sketchersons took extreme measures. The long-running Canadian group canceled itself before the woke mob could do it for them. The Toronto-based group shared the grim news on social media late last month. The post revealed why its initial embrace of BLM proved insufficient and how it forced them to crunch numbers on its diverse lineup, or lack of diverse lineup. That's when the trouble began. According to its Facebook posting, here's part of the original BLM-themed statement shared last June. Here's their statement from last June. In our 16-year history, we've had 86 cast members. Only 10 of them have been BIPOC, as in Black and Indigenous people of color. Only 5 of those people have been Black. Our troop has benefited from a system that was built on white supremacy. The last few years, we've made an effort to be more inclusive of queer and BIPOC voices. But it I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping a straight face while I'm doing it. But it hasn't been enough. We've dragged our feet, but recent events have forced us to make major changes within the Sketchersons because Black Lives Matter. Yes, our comedy troops needs changes because Black Lives Matter. Now, the sketch comedy community is rigged to support the success of white people, and we are part of the problem. Currently, the 2 head writers and 2 producers are all white. We are ready to dismantle the system. The message proved insufficient. Apparently, on January 25th, the group shared the original June posting, as well as a fresh message explaining how the troop failed the community. While writing the statement, we contacted the current and former Black members of the troop for input, but released it before we received feedback from everyone we reached out to. White members of the group prioritized being a part of the BLM conversation over listening to Black voices. We were virtue signaling. Oh, no shit! No shit, you were virtue signaling. To be fair, that kind of self-awareness is rare and refreshing. Still, the group says it rushed the statement during a traumatic time for the Black community, and we didn't reflect on our own complicity in upholding white supremacy within the troop. Our actions were insensitive and disrespectful, and we are sorry for the pain it caused. Okay. Is it just me? Is it just me? But did these people kind of sound like some self-important douchebags? Like they are so important that their little comedy troupe is so impactful on the lives of people in Canada that they have to make sure that they're inclusive of some Black Lives Matter stuff. That you're supposed to be a comedy troupe. You know what I want? Do you know what I want from my comedy troupes? You know what I want from them? I want them to do comedy and make me laugh. Do I care if the comedy troupe is mostly white or all white or whatever? No, I don't give a shit. If they're funny, more power to them. I don't give a shit. And guess what? The idea that they said something, what is this? What did they say back here? It was so, the sketch comedy community is rigged to support the success of white people. How the hell is it rigged? Let me ask you something. Any of y'all ever heard of Key and Peele? They're pretty damn popular, but it's rigged to support the success of white people. Remember In Living Color? That was a pretty funny show, and they were pretty successful. And they've all gone on to have big old movie careers and shit. but the sketch comedy community is rigged to support the success of white people. How so? Is there a special school for whites only in comedy? What the bloody hell are you talking about? Oh, currently the 2 head writers and 2 producers are white. Guess what? If the 2 head writers and producers were not funny, their asses would have been fired. So they must have been doing something right if they're, oh my God. Chappelle Show, yeah. Well, no, the Cosby Show isn't sketch comedy. That was just a sitcom. But I'm talking sketch comedy, where you have little skit, like the Saturday Night Lives and the In Living Colors and all that shit. How the hell is it rigged to support the success of white people? Rigged, they say. Not just, there's whatever, there's oh my God. My head hurts. Okay, so here we go. Our actions were insensitive or disrespectful, and we're sorry for the pain we caused. Okay, I got another question. What? P-Dawg is half white. He has half racist DNA, so he's white supremacist who just doesn't get it. Kate? Good morning, infamous one, by the way. And Rod Line. Oh, I said hi to Rod Line already. Or maybe I did. I'm saying hi now. Oh my God. My black half is telling you to shut the fuck up. Not anyone in my chat. I'm talking about them. Sorry if that was confusing. Good God. What pain? Look, as a BIPOC, let me be perfectly frank. You didn't hurt me. You did not hurt. You know who else didn't hurt me? Monty Python's Flying Circus didn't hurt me. I watched reruns of that show all through high school. Never hurt me. You know what else? Saturday Night Live. Never. Well, it's a little bit painful now to watch, but when back in the day when Saturday Night Live was funny, or funny occasionally. You know what? Come to think of it, I don't know if Saturday Night Live was ever really funny. Even the original cast, they were funny at times, but mostly, if you really think about it, I think because they were so novel when they first came out in, the early mid-70s, and you'd watch Saturday Night Live, that it was so off the wall compared to anything else on TV that's what made it funny. But it's funny because every cast beyond that first cast, there are people who say, "Oh, that cast was terrible," but the people who lived during that cast usually say it's pretty funny. So maybe it's just some kind of I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing. But anyway, but I'm sorry. No, I bet you before they decided to write this bullshit, no one ever thought twice about the pain they caused. They had no pain. Shut the hell up. Anyway, it seems the group's current and previous members are primarily white, and therefore it has not done the work to create a welcoming space for Black and Indigenous people of color, be it BIPOCs. Oh, by the way, thank you, Selected Boy, for the link on the Streamlabs. And Selected Boy,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Toronto is currently locked down like many major U.S. cities due to the pandemic. Well, how about the Canadian cities? Once the lockdowns lifts, though, don't expect the Sketcherson, it's Sketcher's son, the Sketcherson, to immediately jump back on stage. If and when the show returns, we will regroup and further explore how we can prioritize the voices, safety, and inclusion of marginalized people. They're just doing a buzzword super salad. I'm sorry. This is like those super salads where they put all those like nuts and stuff in there, so it's really weird things in the salad to try to make it like it's extra healthy and shit. That's what this is. This is a buzzword super salad. So we can prioritize the voices, safety, and inclusion of marginalized people. Get the fuck out of here. Just write some funny skits, please, and make me laugh. And if you can't make me laugh, get the fuck off the stage and kiss my ass. That's all I care about. Anyway, well, there's more. I'm going to read the rest of this article. We're going to read the rest of this article. Canadian comic Danny Polishchuk, a frequent collaborator with Ryan Long. Is that the dude who wrote the pregnant one with the man, Now She's a Man? And didn't he write that? Anyway, noted the troop's Facebook followers shredded the decision. Good! The blowback proved so venomous, the Sketchersons deleted comments they deemed either offensive or made light of the situation. Please, they need to be shredded. Still, a few snuck through the group's filter. Oh, here's one of the comments. Not to make light, but only 9% of Toronto is black. That means you're only about 3 members short. Meanwhile, 25% of Toronto is Asian, meaning you are missing at least 17. You better get started. Yeah, I mean, how many black people live in Canada anyway? Let me just say this. When I think of black people in North America, the last place I think of is Canada. Yes, I know there are plenty there, but guess what? You're no Detroit, bitches. Sorry. Thank you, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And you are this guy who says, I cry for the return of good hardcore comedy. Yeah, just some funny shit. I don't care. And you know what? I don't want into that sensitive bullshit either. I just don't. I want to be offended with some funny ass shit. I'd rather have some super, if it makes me laugh, I don't care how offensive it is. Okay? Well, I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know. Morning, my fellow. Oh, hi, Sean. I'm sorry, my dumb ass is late. Well, no, you don't have to be sorry for being late. Oh, you're making breakfast, though. What you making, my brother? I'm just curious now. And Black Keeper Israelites in the house.
That's right.
Canada, snow Mexicans. Anyway, and then here's another one. A 2018 survey backs up that 9% number. And then also, here's this. This is the whitest thing I have ever seen in my life. I'm confused. Do they intend this as a joke or are they for real? Yeah, I'm sorry. This is, again, here's the proverb that matches what we were saying. Okay, hang on. That's not it. I'm starting the script for my new video on the modern proverbs. Again, the matching proverb for this is no mountain of admitted guilt or even self-immolation will ever be enough for the truly woke. Thank you. Thank you very much. I wrote that this morning. And my wife laughed at that, so that was good. Yeah. So anyway, look forward to my modern day proverbs coming up soon. Anyway, let's see. It's not like let's see. They finish this out. The Sketchersons vowed to start hiring based on race, a notion that Polishchuk deemed worse than ineffective in his Punching Down podcast. It's not like some absolute travesty. What is a fucking Klan rally? Polishchuk said of the group's previous lineups. You should not be booking your sketch shows based on people's race. That's racist in itself. It's insanity. They're literally thinking they're white knights, no pun intended. Well, I think the pun was intended, he added, of the group's woke sentiment. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that they spend their time, here's what they're going to do. They're going to have some super woke, not funny black person on their show, and they're going to go broke because, unless they could find a couple, funny brothers or something, because women aren't funny. Anyway, just kidding. Sorry, ladies. All right, let's move on. More wokeness. Well, not wokeness, but apparently progressives are not happy with Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia. You're familiar with Joe Manchin? Because he's just not going along with some of the shit that they want. And so, and also Kristen Sinema from Arizona, they're going after her. So progressives are targeting moderate Senator Joe Manchin, West Virginia, and Kirsten Sinema, Democrat from Arizona, as liberals express frustration with the pair over their reluctance to scrap the filibuster and opposition to other demands from the left. Good for them, I say. Saikat Chakrabarti, who is the puppet master behind Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Corbin Trent, and Zach Exley, all of whom played a role in launching Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's campaign in 2018, founded the No Excuses PAC to try to find primary challengers for Manchin and Sinema. Look, I hope they come up with some super woke nonsense people, because you know why Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are senators right now? Because they are in states that you almost have to be a moderate Democrat to win, or I was just vote for a Republican, right? So I find it silly that they're actually going to try to run some woke people in those states. In 2018, we helped elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in a Dem plus 60 district, or something like that. It's almost a completely Democratic district. That ain't going to work in a state like Arizona or West Virginia. But anyway, we helped elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to Congress and launched the Green New Deal. Now we are launching... Oh, wait a minute. They launched the Green New Deal? I thought it was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who came up with that. You mean we did? You mean you, Chakrabarti, the puppet master? Anyway, I'm not going to say what I was about to say because that'd not be cool. Anyway, we are launching a new campaign to replace conservative Democrats in the Senate who stand in the way of progress. It's called No Excuses, and we need your help immediately to run ads telling Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema that they will be primary to replace in 2024 if they join with Republicans to shrink their own party's pandemic, climate, and economic plans. They wrote an email to supporters. While progressives have railed against other centrists in both chambers of Congress, Manchin and Sinema drew fierce ire from the Democratic Party's left flank when they stood up against the efforts to scrap the filibuster, which requires that most legislation in the Senate garners 60 votes to end debate, not to pass, but to end debate. It gives the minority party a little extra power and a little more, it forces them to be more deliberate on things. Anyway, while the two cast their efforts as a move to maintain bipartisanship in the Senate, liberals berated them as aides to Republicans and as aides to Republican attempts to obstruct their priorities from being passed through Congress. Anyway, well, good. Please, I hope you are successful in primarying them with super liberal Senate candidates that don't stand a chance in hell in the two states that you're trying to remove them from. The Manchin is very popular in West Virginia, but guess what? Everything else in the state, almost every other person there is Republican. And Arizona, well, I know the Republicans in Arizona are just, itching to have their senatorial power back. Although, that was the seat wasn't that John McCain's seat? I mean, so he was super moderate, milquetoast Republican, and although except on war, he loved that dude. He never saw a war he didn't like. But anyway, I'm not a fan of McCain anyway. So anyway, yeah, that's going on in the there. Let's move on. And also here's another reason why they don't like Manchin. Manchin says he does not support $15 minimum wage. He's smarter than he looks. Actually, Manchin's not terrible, but he does Democrat things, but he's not completely terrible. Yeah, I don't support a $15 minimum wage, particularly a $15 national minimum wage. We should not have a national minimum wage. If states want to have a minimum wage, they can have a minimum wage, but or municipalities, they can figure that out. But why would you have a national minimum wage when the cost of living in most states are different? I'm sorry, that's a dumb idea. Why are we talking about Amy Schumer? What the hell? I just even putting her in my chat makes me go, ugh. Anyway, Manchin says he doesn't support a $15, because that would double the minimum wage, by the way. Do you realize that? Democratic West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin on Tuesday said he does not support a $15 minimum wage. Manchin was asked by The Hill if he would support raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, something many Democrats have said they are in favor of, to which Manchin responded by saying, no, I'm not. I'm supportive of basically having something that's responsible and reasonable. Manchin's opposition would put a roadblock in the coronavirus package, which would include raising the minimum wage to $15 if no Republicans supported the legislation. Democrats need all 50 members in the Senate to vote in favor of if no Republicans on board. I think they just did that. Not a single Republican voted for the relief bill because they attached bullshit that has nothing to do with the relief bill into the bill, including a $15 minimum wage. But anyway, all right, you get the idea. That's another reason why the progressives hate him, because people are too stupid to understand that different costs of living in different. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's maddening. It is maddening. Check your logic. How you doing? Nice to see you, my friend. All right, moving on. By the way, everything. If you after the show, I will add these tabs to the description of the show down below, and you'll be able to pull up any of these articles through that, or you can go to the Discord where we post every show each day and all the links that I've been using for these news stories if you want to find these stories again. Governor Ron DeSantis has announced some new regulations that the state of Florida will enact to deal with big tech and how they will be enforced. There's a whole bunch of videos on this one. You can watch those, but we won't watch them now. But, well, actually, we'll watch one of them because, let's see, where is it? I will play one of them because it's kind of funny, him beating up on the press. But anyway, under our proposal, if a technology company deplatforms a candidate for elected office in Florida during an election, that company will face a daily fine of $100,000 until the candidate's access to the platform is restored. Now, I don't know if this is a response to Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer ran for Congress, right? And while she was running for Congress, all of her social media, well, some of it had already been shut down, but then they shut down even more of her social media while she was running for Congress. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Anyway, also, the message is loud and clear when it comes to elections in Florida. Big tech should stay out of it. Hell yeah. But they're not. Big tech is, I say, a huge influence on what happened in this last election. Good morning, Grizilla. How you doing? And Humble Clay. Oh, I think I said hi to Humble Clay already. Anyway, we can't allow Floridians' privacy to be violated, their voices or even their livelihoods diminished, and their elections interfered with. Now, here's the part where he called out the journalist, and I thought this was funny. I'll play this. This is just a short 2-minute clip.
See that there's no requirement for those that are posting on the internet to have any, any kind of regulation or any kind of.
So he puts the question, which you can't hear, but you'll be able to hear his answer better, where they're asking, what are they saying? Something about regulation of the internet and question. Just listen to his answer. His answer is the bigger, more important part here.
Because a lot of this is, the deplatforming seems to be driven by somebody who did something that provoked the platform's attention.
Well, I think it's been done in a way that's completely unprincipled. They mentioned the Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden's story was true. Okay, we now know it was true. And the typical corporate media outlets, they just chose to ignore it. Obviously, they wanted to beat Trump. They had a view on the election. They didn't want to give it any air. So we rely on social media to go around that, not let corporate legacy media outlets control the discourse and let us speak. So you had the New York Post to run it, and you couldn't get any traction. You couldn't get any reach on it because big tech put their thumb on the scale. So that was true. What they said at the time, oh, it's a conspiracy, or it's based on hacked information. Are you kidding me? You're trying to tell me if there was hacked information that could damage me, you guys wouldn't print it? Give me a break. You can whiz on my leg, but don't tell me it's raining. You guys would print it every single day if you could. And big tech would allow it to proliferate every single day, 24/7.
Right.
So it's not being done on a principled basis, and it's not. There's threats on me, and it only gets taken down if law enforcement goes and tells them to do it. Otherwise, it just stays up. They're not moderating any of that. So they haven't done a good job in it. The thumb's always on the scale in one direction, and we just need to bring some protection for folks. I really worry when you have a business owner that may rely on some of these tools to do small business. If they engage in wrongthink or they go to the wrong political event, then all of a sudden they can act in concert and just take you off. You need to have protection against that.
Good for him. Anyway, so there's a whole list of the, let's see. Oh, here's the list of some of the things that they're requiring in this bill. New regulations announced by DeSantis include mandatory opt-outs from big tech content filters, a solution to tech censorship first proposed by Breitbart News in 2018, which I think is a great idea. A private right of action for Floridian citizens against tech company that violate this condition. Fines of $100,000 per day levied on tech companies that suspend candidates for elected office in Florida from their platforms. Daily fines for any tech company, quote, that uses their content and user-related algorithms to suppress or prioritize the access of any content related to a political candidate or cause on the ballot, end quote. Can you say Google? Can you say Facebook? Can you say YouTube? Greater transparency requirements, disclosure requirements enforced by Florida's election authorities for tech companies that favor one candidate over another, power for the Florida Attorney General to bring cases against tech companies that violate these conditions under the state's Unfair and Deceptive Practice Acts. So, sounds like Florida's going Poland on us, where Poland has some really big fines for people who do shit, who block people on the internet and don't allow free speech. Now, the fact that Poland is more of a stand for free speech than the United States is on some matters, I don't know. Moving on, here's the blacklisted person of the day. This is a series from a place called Beyond the Black that they've been posting these, and I haven't been reading them, but I wanted to talk about this one because it's interesting. They're coming for you next. While the bulk of blacklisting going on right now in America is coming from the left with the goal of silencing their opposition, the control freak nature of our society is doing harm to many others for sometimes the stupidest of reasons. Today's blacklisted American falls into this latter category. On January 21st, 2021, Will Wilkerson, a writer for the very liberal Wisconsin Center think tank in Washington, was fired because an apparently conservative Twitter mob had complained about the very stupid tweet he'd sent out. The wording of the tweet, sent the night after Biden's inauguration, was ugly without a doubt. Quote, "If Biden really wanted unity, he'd lynch Mike Pence," end quote. Now, Wilkinson claimed in his apology that the tweet was a very bad attempt at satire, making fun of both the left and the right, both of which had expressed some time or another real anger or hate for Mike Pence. It didn't work, which is not surprising considering the mindless, emotional nature of Twitter. Instead, at first glance, it looked like he was sincerely calling for Pence's lynching. Now, when I first saw that, I immediately got the joke that he was trying to tell. Now, it was in bad taste, but again, if he's going to say that shit and can explain why he did, I don't care if he's a leftist. All right? It's a call to violence. Well, it wasn't. If you know what was going on at the time when there was remember on the 8th of January, or excuse me, what did he post this? It was 21st. But remember, during the Capitol riots, right? Remember the sign that were saying lynch Mike Pence? Now that's not a call to violence for me either, and whatever. He was making a reference to that. So when he said, if Biden really wanted unity, he'd lynch Mike Pence. It's a bad, poorly formed joke. Okay. Anyway, as noted by Glenn Greenwald at The Link, during the Bush-Obama years, Wilkinson worked at the Libertarian Cato Institute, but even then he was not much of a libertarian. He himself explained he is far more of a standard issue neoliberal that one finds everywhere throughout D.C. Think tanks, the op-ed pages of large newspapers, and the green rooms of CNN, just with the bit wonkier style of expression and a few vague libertarian gestures on some isolated issues. That self-description was in 2012, and he since has become even more of a standard liberal through the Trump era, which is why the paper of record made him a contributor opinion writer, where he published articles under such bold and groundbreaking headlines as, quote, Trump has disqualified himself from running in 2020, end quote. In other words, Wilkins is a moderate liberal whose track record does not justify him being fired for one dumb tweet. No matter, he wrote it, it bombed as satire, it caused a mob with pitchforks to gather against him, and his think tank employer fired him. So much for freedom of speech in America. It now looks like the New York Times might blacklist him as well. What the story teaches more than anything is the wisdom of staying off Twitter. Its format encourages short, brainless, and snarky rudeness with little thought or content. Excuse me. You post commentary there and you're almost certain to downgrade your thinking to that of a 3-year-old, which in turn will spark a mob of other 3-year-olds to attack you in kind. In the end, no one benefits and the intellectual standards of our culture simply decline. So anyway, yeah, he's not a moderate, he's lefty, but yeah, and again, at the time, I even got what the joke he was trying to tell, even though I thought it was in poor taste. But he gets yeeted from his job. All right, moving on. I don't know that cue, that's never coming down. Now, this isn't anything to do with wokeness or Wednesdays, but just an FYI that now Dr. Fauci thinks that 70 to 85% of Americans need to be fully vaccinated for a return to normal. So far it's less than 2%. Let's have some little fear porn from CNN. About 70 to 85% of the U.S. population should be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 before the country can begin to return to a sense of normalcy, Dr. Anthony Fauci told CNN on Tuesday night. Yes, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who has never said anything that contradicts himself or the truth and the science. See, it's the science, baby. In fact, I ran into somebody the other day. I think it was at a sporting event, and there was a guy that came and refused to wear a mask, and it's like the policy at the place was you had to wear a mask, so just wear the mask. If the place's policy, you got to wear a mask, just do it, or they're not going to let you in. He sat there arguing with the guy for about 10 to 15 minutes, and finally he gave up and he left and wouldn't. Instead of seeing the sporting event, he said, "Nope, I'm going to leave." And so then I was talking to the guy who was talking to him, and I was wearing a mask, and he's saying, God, it's really stupid for that guy to argue. You're in someone's place, and if they ask you to wear a mask, just fucking wear a mask. It's stupid to argue with them. And the guy says something to the effect of, and he was, by the way, he was wearing 2 masks at the time, the guy that I'm talking to. And he said something about, the science says this. And I'm like, which science? Which science says that the virus can't get through that mask you're wearing? Because the virus can go right through that. It has nothing to do with the science. It has to do with how it makes us feel better, honestly. And he kind of looked at me and kind of had a confused look on his face. But I'm like, whatever. Hello, Wikipedia snippet. Anyway, So now Dr. Fauci, who can do no wrong, says that at least 70 to 85% of the population has to be fully vaccinated to have that herd immunity. Remember, he kept changing that number. Remember that? It was 50 to 70% at one point, and then he upped it because, I don't know. I never know what to think with Dr. Fauci. Anyway, and then the experts. This is a CNN article. Experts have sounded the alarm about the new COVID-19 variants that have been detected in the U.S., warning the country is now in a race against time to vaccinate as many people as possible. Yeah, look, it's almost like they're just trying to come up with, ways to not only make you more fearful, but also it's a subtle way to blame Trump that these vaccinations aren't going fast enough, even though the Biden administration is the one that can't seem to find 20 million doses, right? But it's a subtle jab at Trump for a vaccine that no one said we'd ever have. No one believed we'd ever have this vaccine this soon. So I'm in the United States of whatever. I just find it funny that now, and then Fauci keeps changing the number. I don't know. I've already had it. I'm not going to get it again. Now they say that I could be immune for up to over a year because I've already had it. So I'm just going to stick with that. All right, back to the wokeness. Apparently, a Hispanic caucus. The Hispanic caucus in Congress is taking aim at African American veteran service on a key panel. Castro, that'd be what's his name? What's the Castro brother? Joaquin Castro is leading the effort to yank Earl Matthews from military base renaming panel. Huh? He's trying to steal a job from a black man? Huh? Black people, Hispanics are not your friends. I don't say that. I shouldn't say that. Yes, they are. Well, anyway. A group of Hispanic lawmakers is calling on Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin to remove because he's a Trump appointee. 4 Trump administration appointees from a panel tasked with renaming military bases that honor Confederate leaders, including an African-American military veteran who supports the renaming project. The lawmakers, led by Representative Joaquin Castro of Texas and Ruben Gallego, I don't know, are objecting to the appointees because they were tapped during the Trump administration. The work of removing Confederate names from the Department of Defense cannot be trusted to appointees of a president who gave aid and comfort to the ideological heirs of the Confederacy. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus wrote in a letter on Friday. Now, one of those appointees is pushing back. Earl Matthews, an African-American military veteran who supports the renaming project, slammed the lawmakers' move. It is regrettable that anyone would believe that my presence on the renaming commission would undermine the commission's legitimacy merely because I accepted a political appointment in the last administration. Matthews told the Washington Free Beacon, "This matter is above politics. It's about properly honoring America's heroes and about following the law." And this brother is a Harvard Law School graduate, a colonel in the District of Columbia National Guard. Matthews, he served as a deputy assistant to President Donald Trump and senior director for defense policy and strategy on the National Security Council before leaving the post in December 2019. Why'd they try to take a brother off this panel? Assholes. Anyway. Thank you, Rod Line, for the link in Streamlabs. Fauci flip-flops more than a fish out of water. I really believe if you had enough money, you could bribe him to go on CNN and say, we don't need masks anymore. Huh. I have never thought of that. I missed that $1 billion lottery ticket, but you might be right. You may be right, Rod Line. Thank you very much. And the crowd goes wild. Good morning, Spambot22, who says, yeah, and messing with the genetic code of RNA can cause autoimmune disorders, and several people have already died from taking it. This mRNA vaccine is dangerous. Yeah, again, y'all realize, do y'all realize that neither of the vaccines, the Moderna nor the Pfizer vaccines, are FDA approved? Did you know that? Neither of them. They are authorized for use. Neither vaccine is FDA approved. All right, moving on. Speaking of woke, it is, by the way, it is still Woke Wednesday, and even this last 8 minutes, something like that. We do have a few other stories of wokeness. The woke progressive Los Angeles DA apparently has shown support for parole of a Manson family murderer. My jaw drops. I'm outraged that Deborah Tate, whose actress sister Sharon Tate was murdered by Manson followers. Bruce Davis was a member of the Manson family cult who participated in the torture and murder of Gary Hinman in 1969. Davis has now been recommended for parole, and the move has the support of new Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon. Like many progressive DAs across the country, one with the financial backing of left-wing billionaire, the guy hedge fund guy from Belgium, or wherever the hell he's from, that you cannot say his name on YouTube. Gascon operates more like a high-priced defense attorney than a prosecutor. Ding! Family members of Guy Hinman and other Manson family victims are understandably outraged by the idea of parole for Davis. Wait, did they get that right? Oh, yeah. Andrew Blankenstein and Eric Leonard report at NBC News. Relative to the Manson family murder victims outraged by DA's new policy. Whenever a notorious killer Charles Manson or one of his convicted followers would come up for parole over the past 40 years, a Los Angeles County prosecutor joined the victim family members at a California state prison to argue against the release. But when Kay Martley joined a California Board of Parole Hearings video conference to consider parole for convicted Manson family killer Bruce Davis earlier this month, she was stunned to learn she would be making the case on behalf of her murdered relative alone. I had no one to speak for me, said Martley, 81, whose cousin Gary Hinman was tortured and killed by Manson followers on July 27, 1969. I felt like no one cares about the victims' families anymore. We're totally forgotten. The absence of a prosecutor was no oversight. It was the result of a policy shift ordered by newly elected Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon, who campaigned on promises to reduce the number of people in prison. The Davis case illustrates how victim family members can feel if they've been left out in the cold. Holy shit! And then there's Deborah Tate also started a position about him not getting parole. Okay, let's see. Ed Morrissey of Hot Air makes an excellent point about why this is happening. This is all part of Gascon's social justice agenda, and he's hardly alone. Thanks to aggressive organizing by progressives in several states and counties, district attorneys around the country are imposing these kinds of policies despite strong popular support for violent crime sentencing. Unfortunately, voters didn't connect those dots in these elections, and victims' families are stuck with consequences. You know what? Next time this Gascon is up for re-election, whoever his opponent is should have pictures of Charles Manson on their campaign literature saying, yeah, that guy right there. That's, you know what? I don't know. It's crazy. It is crazy. Also, here's an interesting report. Speaking of which, the report 2020 homicide rates so high, there is no modern precedent. You know, back when I moved into the Twin Cities in the very late 1980s, and we had the nickname of Minneapolis being Murderapolis. Well, apparently this is happening all over the country. Gee, I guess keeping people locked up, especially at-risk individuals, is not a good idea. The National Commission of COVID-19 and Criminal Justice, what? National Commission of COVID-19 and Criminal Justice, the NCCCJ, study on crime in 2020 revealed homicide rates increased by 30%. A large rise occurred in June after the death of George Floyd. Yeah, we know that. The Council on Criminal Justice launched the NCCCJ to investigate crime statistics and the judicial system during the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of states and cities spent their year shut down, leaving many to worry about crime and mental health. The NCCJ focused on 10 offenses: homicide, aggravated assault, gun assault, domestic violence, robbery, residential burglary, non-residential burglary, larceny, motor vehicle theft, and drug offenses. The homicide data showed the rates were 30% higher than in 2019, an historic increase representing 1,268 more deaths in the sample of 34 cities than the year before. However, the absolute rates of homicide remained low. In 2020, the homicide rate was 11.4 deaths per 100,000 residents in sample cities. 25 years earlier, in 1995, the rate was 19.4 per 100,000. So yeah, back in the Murderapolis days, it was, the actual rate was higher. But yeah, the rise from year to year, whoo, insanity. You can read the rest of that article yourself. I'm just going to go through a few of these since I'm running out of time. Also amid pandemic overdose surge, Oregon decides to become the first state to decriminalize all drug possession. Great timing. We'll have to watch their OD rates. We'll see what happens there. You can read the article on yourself. Representative Burgess Owens schools AOC for connecting white supremacy to socialized medicine. Former NFL player Burgess Owens, who won the election in Utah for Congress in November, is already starting to establish himself as the nemesis of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the squad of radical unidentified with pushing socialist ideas. AOC wants to mainstream the concept of being there being a human right to socialized medicine. To that end, she said that comparing radical white supremacist conspiracy theories with calling healthcare a human right was false. Owens, a safety for 10 years in the NFL, knows what white supremacy is, and he didn't need a lecture from AOC. Quote, imagine growing up dealing with the horrors of actual white supremacists, only to eventually see that term just become a way for woke Democrats to gaslight anyone who doesn't agree with them. Oh my God. Right? And you know what? I don't care that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has a Hispanic name. She's just white girl Jenny from the suburbs in my eyes. I'm sorry. She just is. Anyway, and apparently he's had some other sharp criticisms for it, but I'll leave that in the article. We're going to move on. Chicago. Oh, the Chicago Teachers Union refuses plan to reopen the schools because it's for the children. It's for the children. Chicago Teachers Union thwarted Chicago Public Schools' plan to reopen classrooms for in-person learning on Monday. This is the second consecutive week that Chicago teachers refused to return to the classroom, forcing the district to delay in-person education for more than 60,000 K-8 students until at least Thursday. Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago Teachers Union reached their first tentative agreement in 8 months on Monday, and now have 2 days to iron out a plan to reopen the schools. Now, something fascinating about that, I don't know if I have, I think I have this bookmarked on Twitter. I hope I do. Someone is to blame for that, right? Someone is to blame for, oh, thank you, Mr. Scott, by the way, for tweeting out the show, Tyler F. and Gorilla Pirate Pete. Someone's to blame. Did I book? I hope I bookmarked this. Oh, shoot. Anyway, Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, seems to believe that the blame for Chicago teachers not wanting to open their schools is Donald Trump. Let me see if I can find this tweet. Yeah, here we go. I'll move this over right next to that Chicago school one here. Mayor Lori Lightfoot says talks with the teachers union over reopening the schools continue throughout. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Oh, it's not on here. But anyway, if you read this article, she blames President Trump because the vaccines didn't come out fast enough. I kid you not. Here we go. Lightfoot. So, although she told MSNBC Monday the issue is uniquely local, again, uniquely local, during a Tuesday appearance on CNN's New Day, she instead laid the blame far beyond the scope of the city's dueling factions. Lightfoot did not invoke the name of the nation's 45th president, but she suggested the ongoing impasse between the Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago Teachers Union over whether it's safe to return to in-person instruction as early as Thursday stems from the failed vaccine rollout under former President Donald Trump. The failed vaccine rollout. Let's see now. The vaccine rollout that had already been administering more inoculations than the Biden administration had planned. This is a very difficult situation, and we're in it still because of the incompetence of the previous administration. Well, if you were really following the science, Lori Lightfoot, you would know that it's safe to open schools. Even the CDC and Dr. Fauci say so. So maybe, I don't know what the opposite of saying Beetlejuice is 3 times, but somebody needs to do it and put her back in that realm because she's not paying attention to the science. She's not paying attention to the science. Did y'all know what I did there? Also, San Francisco school changes art department name because acronyms are racist. Acronyms are racist. Gosh, I have so much more Woke Wednesday stuff. I'm not going to get to it. I'm supposed to be done right now. So, what is it that's in the water in San Francisco? We have evidence that remote learning has caused a huge gap in achievement, but I guess that is not a priority. First, the school board ordered 44 schools to change their names. Second, a teacher cried about Bernie's mittens. because his mittens were white supremacy. Now we have the art department declaring acronyms are racist. That's racist! I cannot tell if this is sarcasm, but Lynn Ann Melendez at ABC News 7 in San Francisco wrote, quote, "The art department has taken a bold move." I hope the word bold move is sarcastic. Anyway, the department insisted that acronyms are a symptom of white supremacy. They used to call it VAPA, V-A-P-A, Visual and Performing Arts. The department director, Sam Bass, announced a new name as SFUSD Arts Department. So they removed an acronym and replaced it with another acronym, even though acronyms are a symptom of white supremacy culture. From ABC News. It is a very simple step we can take to just be referred to as the SFUSD Arts Department for families to better understand who we are. Really, the FSUSD makes it easier to understand? Explained Sam Bass, the director of the SFUSD Arts Department. In a letter, he explains that acronyms are a symptom of white supremacy culture. The use of so many acronyms within the educational field often tends to alienate those who might not speak English to understand the acronym. That's based on a 1999 paper written by author Tima Okun titled, quote, "White Supremacy Culture," end quote. I thought it would have a subtitle, "The Dastardly Use of Acronyms," but it didn't. Okun told me that our culture perpetuates racism when things continue to be written down in a certain way. But the San Francisco Unified School District uses so many acronyms on a daily basis that if you go to their website, there's a section on how to find what their acronyms and abbreviations mean. Well, I don't know what I was about to say there. I was like, acronyms are racist, y'all. All right. Here's the articles I'm not getting to, but that will be in the tab. One is a Democratic senator breaks with Biden by supporting the Keystone XL pipeline. That's John Tester. Articles in the tabs. Also, I wanted to talk about Buck O'Neill on American. We're going to do a little American history because I failed to do it yesterday. And I don't normally want to use sports figures. I'd rather use people, inventors, business people, whatever. But Buck O'Neill is a pretty cool guy. Buck O'Neill by name, his name was John Jordan O'Neill, born in 1911 in Carabel, Florida. He was an American baseball player who was a player and manager in the Negro Leagues, the old Negro baseball leagues before Major League Baseball had black players in it. O'Neill was raised in Sarasota, Florida, and began playing baseball on a semi-professional level at age 12. He attended Edward Waters College in Jacksonville, Florida, after being turned away from a segregated high school. There he earned a high school diploma and completed 2 years of college. In 1937, O'Neill was signed to the Memphis Red Sox in the Negro American League, debuted as a first baseman for the Kansas City Monarchs in 1938. During his tenure with the Monarchs, O'Neill twice led the Negro American League in batting average, batting .345 in 1940 and .350 in 1946. In 1942, the Red Sox took the Negro League American title and advanced to win the Negro League World Series against the Homestead Grays. O'Neill left the team to serve in the Navy from 1944 to 1945, and he was a team manager from 1948 to 1955. And then just tells a story, but here's I hit the wrong one there. Here we go. We're celebrating Black History Month, and I hope we remember John Jordan O'Neill, also known as Buck O'Neill. Most of us learned about Buck O'Neill when he was a contributor to Baseball, the PBS documentary that was shown, ironically, the year that the World Series was canceled in 1994. I loved Buck's stories and the many bits of wisdom that he shared of the Negro Leagues. He had played with all of the legendary players, from Satchel Paige to Josh Gibson and more than that. On the field, Buck was a first baseman and later manager of the Kansas City Monarchs, the legendary team from the Negro Leagues. Off the field, Buck was a smash and became a great ambassador for baseball and author of some wonderful lines. Here are a few examples. Hug everybody you can, especially the pretty women. Drain the bitterness out of your heart. My daddy was a good man. He paid his taxes, he lived a good life, but he couldn't vote. He was not bitter, though. Sing a little song, or sing a little every day. Don't smoke any of those leaves or put anything up your nose. Tell people you love them. Listen to old people tell stories. They might teach you something. And do a little showboating every now and then again in your life. Remember, it was the so-so ball players that came up with the word showboating. They were jealous. If you have something to show, go ahead and showboat a little bit. Buck came to Dallas often. I listened to a radio interview a few years before his death in 2006. A caller asked him if he was bitter for not playing in the majors. He said no and added that bitterness is toxic anyway. Over the last year, we've been hearing a lot about Black Lives Matter and systemic racism. I won't deny history. At the same time, it's people like Buck Owens who lived under real racism who reminded us, don't let anger boil up inside you. There's too much anger out there already. Yeah, too much anger. Yes, there is too much anger and too few men like Buck O'Neill. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go. Thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already hit a like button, that's over there in the down there somewhere, hit the like button. Also, if you share the stream out, that'd be great. If you're watching on replay, leave a comment in the comment section. That's very important for the show. And even if you already watched the show, go back and throw a comment in the comment section. It's it's fun once in a while. And then also you can do donations through the stuff down there. So thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for the people who did donations today. Rod Line, Selected Boy, this is Kyle. Have a great day, guys. I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.